So I've been trying to get this Easter quilt done, and my machine is not cooperating with me. 2 days later, I am back. I'm fresh, and I've done some research. I found this troubleshooting stitch guide, and it was very helpful. I actually printed it off, and I'm going to be keeping it upstairs here with my frame. It tells you skip stitches, long stitches, loops on the back, eyelashing on the top, eyelashing on the bottom. I mean, it's just very helpful. And it doesn't matter what brand long arm you have. It applies to all. So I'm going to check the encoders because it was doing the long stitch. So it'd needle down and then come up, and then the needle would go down, and then it'd go a little ways and go down. So it was like the stitch regulator wasn't recognizing that it needed to stitch. That is what I think was happening. That has to do with the encoders. So I need to check my encoder, and this one seems to be fine. It's popping down on the frame. I don't believe that the wires are getting in the way. Oh, here's this one. I might need to clean the frame. That was another thing. So if the frame has gotten dusty, that could also evidently cause a problem. So let's clean this frame. Oh, look, it is dusty. Wow. 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 Dusty, dusty, dusty. So maybe that was my problem. I'm going to unplug the encoder and plug it back in, just in case. Okay. I've got plenty of these magnets, so there's no need to skimp on them. I'm going to pull this a little more snug. Now, I need to get my batting. So let's measure. So this is 59 and something. So now I'm going to measure out 59 and something inches of batting. Probably 59. I'll just stick with that. And this should be way too long. So I'll have extra. Alright, so let's go. This edge. And you know me, I can't cut a straight line. Wow. Alright. Crazy. So let me put this on. There are 2 sides to batting. This is the back. This is the front. Okay, and I'm going to line it up right here. Batting is sticky, which is good because you want it to stick to your fabric. Okay. now the quilt top. So let's line up the top. I don't want to be too conservative, but I don't want to not be conservative enough. If that makes any sense. I do want to come further over this way. I got a whiny girl. You got a whiny girl? You whiny girl? Okay, let's see. Now, this is way high, which could have also been part of my problem. Move this forward, and that looks good. So now, before I do anything, I am going to secure my quilt. Pull up the bobbin thread. Feels good. Put it back down, and then so now the stitching looks lovely. Hold on and I'll show you. Look at that. Beautiful. Just a couple things that I want to point out. It's best to be able to describe what's wrong. I wasn't sure that there was a difference between skipped stitches and long stitches. There is. Skipped stitches, you will see the hole where your needle punctured and tried to pull the thread up from the bobbin, but was unsuccessful. That wasn't the issue I was having. I had long stitches. So I had it on regulated, and it was like the stitch regulator couldn't figure out how often it needed to put the needle down. It can be very frustrating, and of course I was frustrated because I had waited until the day before. I wanted to get my quilt quilted, and I knew I was just going to come up here and it was going to quilt and life was going to be awesome. That's not the way it happened, but I learned a lesson, because then after 3 hours, and you may not last 3 hours, if you get to the point where you're just like gonna blow a gasket, leave, step away. I wasn't frustrated. It became more of a thing like, oh, I will figure this out. And then I'd change something and it wouldn't work, and I'd change something and it wouldn't work. So I just ended up taking the quilt, taking it downstairs, and using my embroidery machine, which ended up being fine. So it was just a good lesson in diagnosing an issue. And with a machine like this, there are going to be issues that pop up. Most of them are probably going to be related to something that you've changed, because I know the time before that I quilted, I had no issues at all. It was beautiful. And then the time that I quilted after, no issues at all. It was beautiful. So I had introduced something totally different to my situation, and that ended up being my problem. I'm gonna go ahead and quilt this. I'm really pleased. I am using the thread that I tried to use on Saturday. Like I said, it was me introducing something totally new with an expectation, and my expectation wasn't met.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
And there's Alexa, who doesn't know how to help me with that. All right, let's finish this quilt. I also have started a membership, and my membership is $4.99 a month, and we're going to have a monthly sit and sew, and the group is called the Pedal Pushers. Get it? Pedal Pushers. So the first Zoom meeting is this coming Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you would like to come to that, it's not a meeting. I'm so used to going to meetings. Our first sit and sew is this coming Sunday at 3 p.m. If you are interested and would like to try it out, sign up for a membership, and then we can sit and chat and talk and sew and just have a good time together. Now, let me finish this, and my ride on the struggle bus will be a thing of the past. All right, I am having to rip out stitches, but I figured something out without having to read the book. Where I place my design determines how far up these points on this design go. I did not realize that, and in addition, so the reason that I changed where I put my placement was because I wasn't going to make it all the way down to the bottom of my quilt. Well, what I need to do is roll my quilt up further so that I have more space in between the two bars. So this is good. And tearing this out is not going to be that bad. Stitches are so pretty, I hate to tear them out, but so I am slowly but surely figuring this thing out. Something that I learned about loading the bobbin. When the bobbin rolls, it should be going counterclockwise. I didn't know that. The reason that I had to repair my pattern is because my bobbin ran out. Normal thing. So I pulled out the thread to where I have a seam. I released the carriage, I loaded my bobbin. Now I am going to pull my bobbin. Well, first, actually, I think I'm going to do repair pattern. I'm going to put my machine and my needle at the stitch where I want to start. And then I'm going to click closest stitch. And it is going to place itself where the closest stitch is. Now, I'm going to pull my bobbin. And I don't move the machine. The machine will move itself to pull up the bobbin thread. All right, so here's my bobbin thread. Now I'm going to sew. The machine's going to go back to where it's supposed to be. This quilt, I am struggling at the very end because I don't know with the automation how to get it to sew the same size pattern, but just cut it off at the end of the quilt. So instead of getting all frustrated, I'm going to go do some research and see how I can get that done. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I have some pictures of quilts that I want to share that you guys have sent me. You all have been really busy, so I want to show you some of the work that some of my friends have been doing. If you want me to share your quilting pictures, please email them to me at aprilscraftroom@gmail.com. I hope that you learned from this video. I know I learned from this video, and it isn't always as easy as sometimes we make it look. So I thought it would be fun to share this time when it really wasn't easy for me. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Eat some chocolate and be kind to everyone. Until next time, bye. It is 2 days later, and I am back. Oh,